Hi friends, hope you're keeping well. It's been since many days I didn't post any video because I was busy. Now, we'll learn the part 3 from Unit 2 and still should cover up 8 units, so we should go fast. Use NET Psychology Unit 2 Part 3, the short notes, let's see in detail. So I'll be reading and explaining so fast. So either you can stop the video and rewind and you can learn. Detailed notes of paradigms and methods of research. This is a unit from research methodology. So paradigms of research means a worldview or a framework that guides how research should be done. So type of paradigm, quantitative, and many more types are there. Naturalist, the positivist. Measure, quantify, test hypotheses, find general laws. Key features are object reality exchange. Use numbers, statistics, structured tools like questionnaires, text, etc. Large samples. Deductive reasoning. Theory is equal to hypothesis and testing. Generalized results. Strength, high reliability. Clear cause effect findings. Limitations are like ignorant subjective meaning. Human behavior cannot always be measured numerically. So the second point is qualitative. First is quantitative, second is qualitative paradigm. Nature is constructivist. The aim is to understand subjective experience, meanings. The key features are multiple realities, rich descriptive data like interviews, observations, etc. Inductive reasoning like data, patterns, and theory. Small samples, flexible methods. Here the strength is deep insights and contextual understanding. So the limitations or the problems we have is low generalizability. Researcher bias possible are there. So there's a possibility of bias, all those things. The C is the third one, mixed method approach. Uses both quantitative, qualitative in the same study. Like the types, first is sequential explanatory or qual, like quantitative, quality short. Sequential exploratory, quality, then quantitative. Concurrent, both at the same time, simultaneously means at the same time. What are the benefits here? Comprehensive understanding, very clear understanding. It validates findings through triangulation, like triangulation. Second is methods of research. What are the methods of research? First is observation method. The A is observation method. It is used to study natural behavior. So what are the types in this? First type is naturalistic, to observe in natural setting. Second is controlled, like lab or in a room, lab-based observation. Third is participant. Researcher becomes part of group, so the researcher became the participant. Fourth is non-participant. Researcher stays outside the participant. Those who are participating for the research, you have seen in this YouTube or some other outside, you can see. Fifth is structured, checklist-based, proper structure, systematic. Sixth is unstructured, like free, flexible, whatever you can do this. But the pros of this is realistic behavior, useful for children and animals. What are the cons? Negative, observer bias or BIS, and cannot study internal states. These are things we can see here. B, second one is survey method. This is used to gather large amounts of data about attitudes, opinions, beliefs. Even it includes, like first one is interviews, like structured, semi-structured, unstructured. These are there. Second is questionnaire. Usually when you're doing PG or postgraduate studies, you will be giving questionnaires. You will also maybe you can get like open-ended, also closed-ended like MCQ or Likert scale. Many more scales are there. What are the pros about this? Positive about this: cost-effective, not too much amount of money, and large sample possible will get. What are the cons or negative about this is social disability bias, non-response issues. They may not respond sometime for questionnaires. But if you go and ask in person, they may respond immediately. See, next is experimental method. The aim is to establish cause effect. Key concepts are like independent variable, IV independent variable, DV dependent variable. So dependent is manipulated and dependent variable is measured. Control group versus experimental group. Random assignment, high internal validity. What is the negative or the positive point here is best for casual conclusions. What is the negative is artificial environment, ethical limits. All ethical limits are here, no? Next type is quasi-experimental design. This means like similar to experiments but no random assignment. For example, like non-equivalent group design, time series design. Then in this, the first is practical for real world settings. It's very good for practical thing they're doing. And what's the negative we can see is low internal validity. They want much validity in this. The next one is field studies. In field is what they will do research done in natural environment but can include manipulation. They'll go and talk with them, they'll confuse them. Next is high ecological validity is there in this. Real behavior. And what is the negative thing here is difficult to control the variables, very difficult to control when you will be there. Next one is cross-cultural studies. Compare psychological variables across cultures. The goal is to identify cultural universals, understand cultural differences, and what are the challenges they have. Translation issues. When they're translating, you have a problem in another culture studies. And culture bias will be always there as they're doing from cross-culture studies. Next is phenomenology. In the study of lived experience of individuals, that means phenomenology. Like the process is in-depth interviews, they'll go on interviews, like bracketing, suspending researcher bias, identifying essence of experiences. What is used in here is therapy research, trauma studies, consciousness. Next type of theory is grounded theory. The aim is to develop theory from data. The steps are, first step is open coding, second is axial coding, third is selective coding, and the fourth is theory building. So the first is OAST. O means opening coding, axial coding, selective coding, and theory coding. It is used for social processes and behavioral patterns. These are two things we can use this coding for. Next is focus groups. Group discussion moderation by the facilitator. What's the purpose of this group discussion? To generate more ideas. Like, so when you have one person thing, we'll get less idea, but when group thing, we'll get more number of ideas, no? And understand group beliefs, flaws, which interaction is here, and quick data collection. And the cons are dominant member bias. The confidentiality issues, like secret issue, they may tell here and there. All those things. As a group, no, they may, for example, they're conducting some activities, kit, you should not tell outside the topic, they'll go and say. There's no confidentiality in this. Next is narratives. Study of people's stories. They focus on meaning, making, life events, identity. They use in counseling psychology, okay, these narratives. Trauma studies and social psychology. Next is case studies. The case study, what happens here? Detailed description of single individual, event, organization. The process is deep analysis, generate hypotheses. The cons is not. So in the case studies, the cons are like not generalizable. We cannot generalize to everybody. And the researcher bias, famously used for Freud, like Sigmund Freud, Piaget, neuropsychology. And the next is ethnography. It's a study of culture through immersion, like long-term fieldwork, participant observation, thick description, culture, meaning. And it's even used in cross-cultural psychology, like cross-cultural psychology, social behavior, group dynamics, like many types of variation will be there. No? So the things we learn. Thank you. Have a great day. Learn well, be well. Bye-bye. If you want more MCQs or any topics, let me know in the comment. Bye-bye. Thank you.